No one should ever have to feel like this, especially on a daily basis.
Somewhere along the line of a turbulent childhood, I developed an eating disorder. This is my story. I've always been a picky eater. I can remember removing the bun from cheeseburgers and being the kid that got chicken tenders no matter the restaurant. I received a number of demeaning comments on this, questioning why I didn't eat normally or why I wouldn't try new things. I was never trying to be difficult. I was a child who simply ordered the food I knew I would enjoy. I've always felt as though I was born in the wrong body. To this day, I have never been comfortable. I spend my days tugging at my clothes to prevent them from pressing against my body, maintaining a preference for loose-fitting clothing, and choosing my outfits based upon the level of thinness it can portray. Every moment is consumed by thoughts of where my body is in space, how my stomach pushes against the waistband of my shorts, the way my cheeks move when I smile, how my shirt presses against my body when I walk. I am hyper-aware of each piece of clothing I own and how it feels, looks, and shapes my body. I know where each sleeve falls on my arm, the tightness of each pair of pants, the amount of space between my hips and each waistband. I know which pants present wider hips, which shirts highlight my love handles, and even which shoes make my legs appear stocky. I feel the vibrations of life on a very deep level. I feel every ounce of fat bounce when driving. I feel my spandex press in on my lower stomach when I run. Every movement I make produces a negative reaction in my mind, a reaction that inflicts severe emotional trauma. I am constantly reminded that my ideal body has not been attained. My flaws and insecurities are highlighted, magnified, and multiplied. I have been aware of my risk for undernutrition for many years now. I was diagnosed with lupus at the age of 3, so the pursuit of health and well-being has been constant since I can remember. I consistently try to improve my diet and consistently exploit my passion for exercise. I've tried countless diets simply in an attempt to find a lifestyle that promotes balance, variety, and sustainability. I've tried focusing on caloric intake. I've tried intuitive eating. If it's out there, I've tried it. Every attempt follows the same cycle, ending in binging and purging, followed by shame and disgust. When one thinks of bulimia, they often think of a person eating a large amount of food and then purposely vomiting. This is certainly one form of bulimia, but it is not the form I personally suffer from. It's actually because of this mainstream view that I thought I had binge eating disorder for many years, only recently realizing that I am in fact bulimic. Bulimia is characterized by recurrent episodes of binge eating, often with a sense of lack of control over the eating, and even eating through the discomfort of being overly full, as well as recurrent inappropriate compensatory behavior. It could be self-induced vomiting, misuse of laxatives, diuretics, or other medication, fasting, or excessive exercise. The diets and attempts to lose weight typically go well for a few days, maybe weeks, but inevitably end in a binge and purge. My binges are typically late at night, secretive, and consisting of large amounts of sugar and sweets. I compensate by either fasting the next day or exercising excessively in fear of gaining weight, sometimes both. These binges involve thousands of calories, and compensation involves hours of high-intensity exercise, when I commonly ignore signals of exhaustion. We discuss our greatest fears throughout life, but it wasn't until writing this that I realized that my biggest fear is gaining weight. In the past, I've said things like losing the ability to be happy or pain, but neither of these compare when considering the lengths I would go to avoid gaining weight. And thinking about this further, I fear that I'll never be able to work through or feel relief from this debilitating eating disorder. I battled deep depression and continuous thoughts of suicide during my senior year of high school. I think the biggest contributor to wanting to end my life stemmed from a vast weight gain of approximately 60 pounds. At this point, my BMI actually classified me as obese, reaching 210 pounds at 5'7". However, plans to deliver my valedictorian speech at the end of that school year motivated me to begin losing weight, and I was eventually able to lose all of the 60 pounds I had gained. But my weight has yo-yoed throughout my entire life. Even as an athlete, I have always gained weight very easily, and as an emotional binge eater, it has been a continuous effort to maintain a healthy weight. Upon realizing that I am transgender, I began hormone replacement therapy, which led to a vast weight gain, and, though temporary, it was very difficult mentally. I am still fighting against depression, stress, and anxiety, which are both a cause and effect of being bulimic. It is the number one source of my depression and lack of hope for the future. All I think about is food and my body. I'm obsessed with the scale, the mirror, and taking pictures of my body. I'm unable to accept compliments or acknowledge progress in my physique through bodybuilding. I focus on my failures and reluctantly allow them to define me. I do not remember living without bulimia. I hope to one day be reunited with such a life.